Good evening, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. We are back again, back with another match reaction. And this time it's a happy one. As you can see, I've got a massive smile on my face. And we are here to give a match reaction and player ratings for yesterday's excellent performance, surprising performance against Leicester. And yeah, what a performance in the end. I can't lie. When the team lineups came out and I saw Willian starting, I saw a midfield pivot of Granit Xhaka and Elneny, I was worried. I was extremely worried because Leicester, let's not have it right, Leicester are a very decent side, especially in the Premier League this season. Third in the league, or they were third in the league before the game kicked off. We've been horrendous in the Premier League. We was even horrendous on Thursday night against Benfica, and very, very lucky to make it through that tie. So, of course, when I see the lineup, and look, I completely agree that Mikel Arteta had to make changes for this game, but I didn't agree necessarily with the players that he brought into that starting lineup. And yeah, of course, like for the first 6 minutes of the game, I was proved right. We started very slow, very lethargic, typical Arsenal performance of this season. And yeah, Leicester went 1-0 up inside 6 minutes. And when that goal goes in, you just sit there and you think, here we fucking go again. Here we go again. Benfica Mark II. We knew exactly what was about to come. But I hold my hands up. I hold my hands up and I say, well done. Well done to the players. They showed a bit of heart, a bit of passion, a bit of fight. And yeah, surprisingly, one or two of them players who I wouldn't have particularly put in the first 11 for that game actually performed pretty damn well. And of course, we went on to win the game 3-1. Now, the heart, the passion, the fight that I saw from the players, coupled with the fact that Leicester were very, very poor. Let's not get that, twisted. Leicester were poor, especially defensively. The amount of times they gave the ball away was unreal. And yeah, Brendan Rodgers did not get his game plan right for Leicester at all. Jamie Vardy, I barely even see the guy in the game. He had scraps to feed off. Probably not even scraps, which is a good thing. Of course, Harvey Barnes, another player who sort of fed off of scraps. But I'll tell you what, even now, even after having 24 hours out to think about the game, I still can't pick who was man of the match. I still can't pick between Willian and Pepe on who was man of the match. And I can't believe that them words are actually coming out of my mouth, because Willian, everybody knows how I feel about him. And Pepe, I don't particularly rate, I've said it for a while now. I think he's a very talented, very skillful player, but he just doesn't show it enough. And I can't lie, he was brilliant yesterday. Nicolas Pepe was so dangerous yesterday. He got a goal as well, which was, fully deserved for him. Fully deserved for him. Willian with 2 assists, the first goal, the third goal as well. Yeah, that is the Willian that we brought from Chelsea. That is the Chelsea Willian that we've been wanting to see. And yeah, I can't argue with anything. I only have one criticism. And I said this yesterday as well. Mikel Arteta with the young players in this team, I kind of feel like some of the young players, he may hamper their development a little bit if he's not careful. Bukayo Saka has played an awful lot of football for Arsenal. Basically carried Arsenal all season on his shoulders. And thank God he got a rest yesterday, you know, because it was starting to look like he may not get a rest, and that could affect him long term, especially if he picks up an injury. But it's good to see that the manager did, you know, bite the bullet and take him out of that game yesterday. Although considering the opportunities that he has had to take Bukayo Saka out of certain games and rest him, I was very surprised that he chose this game in particular. But it worked, you know, it worked. And we got the 3 points, so you can't argue with that. However, Martinelli, and I keep saying this, I'm not sure that the manager really rates Martinelli, if I'm being honest. And a lot of fans are arguing about the fact that Martinelli's been out for a while, he's had these injuries, he's picked up little knocks and this, that, and the other. So, you know, and when he has been playing, he's maybe not done quite enough to warrant starting in the team. But we all know what quality Martinelli brings to this team. And he hasn't played since Newcastle. He has not played since Newcastle. Now, he's been on the bench for the last couple of weeks. And for whatever reason, he's not even made an appearance on the pitch. And I'm starting to worry now, because you can hamper a player's development if you don't play them enough, but you can also hamper a player's development by playing them too much. And I kind of felt that way with Smith Rowe yesterday in particular. Smith Rowe has looked absolutely shattered in recent weeks, mainly due to the fact that he's, you know, playing so much first team regular football at high intensity as well. And I was very surprised that he did not get a rest yesterday. And unfortunately, he picked up an injury, and that might set him back a little bit in his development. Hopefully, it's not a bad injury. I haven't heard any news. Maybe one or two of you might have done. So if you have heard any news on Smith Rowe, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, hopefully it's not a bad one. Hopefully that don't hamper his development. And I'd like to see Martinelli get a few more minutes, you know. Arteta had the opportunity to bring Martinelli on towards the end of the game. And instead, he chose to bring Aubameyang on when we was 3-1 up. And I just kind of look on it like this, you know. You could have brought Martinelli on. Martinelli offers the similar sort of thing to what Aubameyang offers. He's quick, he's pacey, he wants to get in behind the defence, he'll press, you know. And he could have brought him on for the last 10, 15 minutes, knowing that the 3 points were pretty much in the bag, and given him a bit of a run out just to get a bit of match fitness in his legs, but he chose not to do it. So it's worrying. It's worrying to see what could possibly be going on with that. The only good thing that I would say is that we have got Martinelli tied down to a long-term contract. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with that situation in the coming weeks, and hopefully we'll get to see Martinelli play a little bit more. Also, guys, let me know in the comment section. Do you agree with me about the whole Martinelli thing, or do you think I'm blowing it out of proportion a little bit too much? Or, you know, let me know. Let me know. And yeah, so that's about it, really. You know. Yeah, we're going to do a few player ratings, of course, as we do always. And then we're going to rate the manager at the end. But yeah, here we go. Bernd Leno. I thought he didn't really have an awful lot to do, if we're being completely and utterly honest. I mean, could he have done better with the goal? I don't think he could have done. I thought his passing out of the back was pretty good yesterday. I don't really think he made any real errors or mistakes or anything like that. He's been quite consistent in recent weeks, and I'm going to give Bernd Leno a 7. Moving on to right back, Cedric. Now, I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and months and weeks, and I'm pretty certain that many Arsenal fans have been saying the same thing. Hector Bellerin is not good enough. His performances have not been good enough. And a lot of Arsenal fans have been calling for Cedric to start at right back. And you see yesterday as to why. You know, the guy, not only can he defend, but he gets forward. He makes overlapping runs. He makes it easier for the likes of Nicolas Pepe to drag a defender away from him so that he can get one-on-one and isolate a defender. You know, Hector Bellerin does not do that. He gets halfway up the pitch, passes it backwards, sideways, whichever way that is not forwards, you know. And hopefully Arteta will see Cedric's performance at the weekend and he'll give him another run on Saturday against Burnley. And if he does well in that game, he'll play him against Olympiacos as well. Because, look, I get that Arteta has this friendship with Bellerin, but when it comes to being professional about things, that has got to be put to one side. And he's got to realise Hecky B's performance, as everybody calls him, has not been good enough this season. It's as simple as that. Moving on to the centre-back pairing. Firstly, David Luiz. Excellent. Very good. Kept Jamie Vardy nice and quiet. Didn't see much of him at all. He also got up the other end and got a goal. The equalising goal as well. And yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. Also, I didn't rate Cedric. I'm going to go back to Cedric. Cedric gets a 9 for yesterday. Nah, maybe 9's too high. Cedric gets an 8 for yesterday. And actually, David Luiz does as well. Next to him, we went with Pablo Mari. And Pablo Mari was very, very good again yesterday. I like this guy. He's not the quickest, but he reads the game very well. He kind of reminds me a little bit of kind of like a Per Mertesacker in the sense that he knows he hasn't got the pace to go one-on-one with somebody. But his reading of the game is absolutely exceptional. And it's exactly the same with Pablo Mari. And whenever he plays in defence, you know, I can't think of a game that we've lost when Pablo Mari's played in defence. It's an interesting one, certainly. And maybe we need to start playing this guy more. I certainly would do. Moving on to Kieran Tierney. Exceptional again yesterday. Did well getting forward. He did his defensive duties pretty well as well, although he did get caught out a little bit high up the pitch for that first goal. But yeah, very good again from him yesterday. And if we can keep him fit, we know that he is going to be a threat down that left-hand side. We know that he carries the heart, the passion, the fight for the team as well. And yeah, very good from him. Did I give Pablo Mari a rating? I'm getting crap with this. Pablo Mari gets an 8 as well. Kieran Tierney also gets an 8 for me as well. Very, very good yesterday. Moving on to midfield. Granit Xhaka. I thought in the first half, he was absolute dog shit. First half, he was not very good at all. I was watching him very closely. And while everybody else was trying to take 1-2 touches and then play the ball, Granit Xhaka just, yeah, did his usual bullshit, which was taking 3, 4, 5 touches before releasing the ball. There was a couple of times where he could have got caught out as well. But in the second half, he stepped up his game a little bit and we started to see more forward passes. We started to see Arsenal move the ball a bit quicker. And he didn't do too bad to control that midfield, you know. I didn't really see too much of Tielemans or Harvey Barnes or anybody else like that. And because of his second half performance, I'm going to give him a 7. Moving on to Mohamed Elneny. next to him as well. Like I say, very, very worried at the beginning of the game. Like, where was the creativity going to come from with them two? But it was a solid performance by Elneny yesterday as well, next to Granit Xhaka. I think Xhaka was probably just the better of the two. But it was a solid performance from Elneny. You know what you get from Elneny, you know? Elneny is not one of these types of players who is just going to, pick up the ball and run past 10 men or something stupid like that. He keeps it simple. He's a very average player, and he knows, it's almost like he knows he's an average player. So he tries to give the ball to somebody who is better than him. And kept it very simple yesterday. And like I say, I think him and Xhaka got hold of the midfield pretty well in that second half. I'm going to give Elneny a 6. Moving on to Emil Smith-Rowe. Like I said earlier on, Emil looked tired. He looked like this was just one too many games for him. And you didn't really see too much of him, to be fair. Of course, he came off injured. And not great from him, but I can kind of understand, he looked knackered. He looked absolutely knackered. And let's just hope he's not out for too long. I'm going to give Emil Smith-Rowe a 5 for yesterday. Very average. Moving on to the right-hand side. And arguably the man of the match, Nicolas Pepe. He was so dangerous yesterday. You could see the hunger. You could see that he was kind of a little bit peed off that Arteta, he had a couple of good games a couple of weeks ago, and then all of a sudden he was left out the side again. But he came in yesterday and he was exceptional. He was exceptional. He was so dangerous. He was always looking to isolate the fullback one-on-one, try and get crosses in, try and take players on, have shots, and that is the Nicolas Pepe we want to see week in, week out. That is the Pepe that we paid 72 million for. He has got quality, but he needs to start showing it consistently. And yesterday, he was brilliant. You got to give him a 9. You've got to give him a 9. Like I said, between him and Willian, I can't pick a man a match at all. Moving on to Willian, of course. And very surprisingly, very, very good yesterday. Set up 2 goals. Was very good. He ran the show. Let's not get that twisted. And I can't believe I'm saying it. I really can't, because he had a good little cameo performance against Benfica. And maybe that gave him the confidence that he needed, because yesterday he looked like a different player, Earlier on, or before the Benfica game, honestly, it looked like this guy was here just for a payday. It looked like this guy could not be bothered, and it was so disappointing to see how poor he was. And I would not have had him anywhere near this team. But you got to give Mikel Arteta a bit of credit. He chose to bring him on Thursday when everybody else was going, no. And we won the game. We come back. And he chose to put him in yesterday. And again, a lot of people, including myself, were saying, really? One little cameo performance and you're picking him? Are you serious? But Willian has done, what the manager has asked of him. And if he performs like that, I don't mind him coming into the team at all. But again, he's got to keep it consistent now. And very, very good yesterday. You kind of see a bit more of the Willian that we saw at Chelsea last season, who had a very good season last season with Chelsea, probably his best season with Chelsea. And yeah, hopefully he can keep that up. I'm going to give him a 9 for yesterday as well. Moving on to the lone striker, Alexander Lacazette. Again, I thought he did very, very well yesterday. He didn't really get any major opportunities. Of course, he scored the penalty. But what Lacazette does bring to this team is he holds the ball up very well. He brings others into play. And I kind of feel like him being up front yesterday and him coming deep for the ball and picking it up, trying to bring other players into play, also help create spaces in behind for Willian and Nicolas Pepe to attack. And yeah, like I say, I thought he was very good yesterday as well. I'm going to give Lacazette a 7. Pushing an 8, really, because he scored as well. And that penalty was very, very good as well. Pressurised penalty to put us 2-1 up. You know, if he had missed that and we'd have gone on to, say, lose the game or draw the game, a lot of people would have been ruining that missed chance. And very good penalty, you know. Schmeichel was never really getting anywhere near that, and he sent him the wrong way. So, yeah, Lacazette gets a 7, pushing an 8. Substitutions, of course, we're going to go firstly with Martin Odegaard. He had the most amount of time on the pitch. Obviously came on for Smith Rowe when Smith Rowe went off injured. And again, I thought Odegaard wasn't too bad either. He looks like he's starting to adjust to the league. He's getting used to playing in this Arsenal team. He's got that little bit of extra quality as well, where he can find a pass that no other real player in this squad probably could find. And yeah, I thought he was okay again yesterday. I can't really think of any like proper like special moments or anything like that. I thought he linked up pretty well with Nicolas Pepe, to be fair. But yeah, he did okay. He looks like he's starting to adjust to the league now. He looks like a very good player. Hopefully we can keep hold of him and at least take him on loan for another season. I wouldn't mind that at all. And yeah, Martin Odegaard, he gets a 6 for me. Moving on to... Where is he? Thomas Partey, ooh, zoom, zoom, zoom. Thomas Partey. Yeah, Thomas Partey came on, controlled the midfield. He looked to actually try and score a couple of goals himself. You know, he had a few shots from outside the area, showing that he's not just a defensive midfielder. He is effective going forward as well. Yeah, and when he came on, we just controlled the midfield completely. You see the quality that this guy has. You know, a couple of touches and then move the ball. You know, but again, I didn't really see an awful lot of him. I think he had about 15 minutes or so, maybe even less than that actually. And yeah, not an awful lot of time to do anything, but you know, it's a pretty standard Thomas Partey performance. And again, I'll give him a 6 as well. And then, of course, the final substitution, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Once again, he came on with about 10 minutes to go, just to see 5 minutes to go, just to see the game out. Didn't really have any major opportunities. He had one shot where he sort of cut inside from the left and put it just wide. But again, he looks like now that he's scored a few goals, he looks like he's back to his usual Aubameyang self again, where, you know, he's just lethal when he gets opportunities. And hopefully he can continue that. Hopefully all these goals will give him a bit of confidence. Of course, he was rested yesterday, understandably. And yeah, let's hope that he can continue this. And again, just because he didn't get an awful lot of time, I'm going to give him a 5. Of course, the manager. Now, I can't believe I'm saying this either. I'm going to give him a 9. I'm going to give him a 9. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 9. And you can't argue at all. You know, he shut me up. Let's put it that way. You know, before the game, like I said, that starting lineup, I was tearing my hair out, thinking, "Oh my God, what is he doing?" The only 1 or 2 criticisms that I had is, of course, about Martinelli. And the other criticism would be that, you know, we could all see that Smith Rowe needed a bit of a rest. Arteta chose not to do that. And, you know, hopefully the injury's not too bad. But that would be the only 2 criticisms that I would have. You know, when you look at it in the cold light of day and think, you know, we won the game 3-1. Willian was, you know, arguably man of the match. Granit Xhaka and Elneny played pretty well. All the changes that he did make sort of paid off. You've got to give credit to him. You've got to give credit to Mikel Arteta for that. And yeah, I'm going to give him a 9 for yesterday's performance. So there we have it, guys. Player ratings and a match reaction. Of course, I will be back later on this week for a match preview for the Burnley game. Also, don't forget to I will be on Gunners Talk on Sarcasm City TV later on this evening. So make sure you come and check that out. I think it's 10 p.m. I'm sure we'll find a couple of other videos to do with a few other people as well. So just keep your eyes peeled. And of course, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you smash a like, as always, and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Big up everybody who's watched. Big up everybody who continues to support the channel. We are, I think, about 30 subscribers away from 400. So if we can get there by, say, the end of the month, that would be really, really pleasing for me. And I would really appreciate that as well. So make sure you share the content out to your friends as well. And look, like I said, I will be back later on this week. And don't forget to come and check out Gunners Talk later on this evening. Cheers, guys. Big up yourselves.